Hello everyone, today I'm going to give some crucial information about multi-level teaching. What is multi-level teaching itself? We are going to look through some brief information. And we have, as you know, that we have contents of today's topic. They are introduction to multi-level teaching, benefits of multi-level teaching, challenges of multi-level teaching, examples of multi-level activities and classroom environment, and the last we have conclusion. And what is multi-level teaching itself? We will look through some brief information about this kind of theme. Okay, multi-level teaching is a teaching method that involves delivering a lesson to an entire group of students while also addressing the individual needs of each student. It is also known as multi-grade teaching, multiple class, composite class, vertical group, or family class. And we have got lots of teachers who teach the English classrooms, and multi-level teaching allows teachers to provide standards-based instruction to the entire class, respond to students who need instruction above or below the current objective, and provide success for each student, acknowledge diverse student characteristics, and adjust instruction for gifted students as well, and weave individual goals into the classroom content. And the last one is decrease the need for separate programs. As we know that we have lots of gifted students in our classrooms, and all the students should adjust instruction for such kind of students. And we have got lots of strategies that can help make our lesson very creative or some kind of enjoyable. And I'm going to give you some strategies that teachers can use for multi-level teaching. Include the first, reading workshops. I think that all of you know what kind of workshops are called reading workshops. And the next one is writer's notebook. And I think every person has their own notebooks, like even in their writing lessons or any kind of diaries as well. And we have got open-ended tasks and group work activities. I think that most of the teachers who teach the English to their classrooms use such kind of group work projects or kind of pair work projects in their teaching style. And the next one is task-based learning. I think that task-based learning, the most crucial one among others, because in the task-based learning, all the students must be participated actively. Even in passive students also must be participated, must be included in your lesson. And the inverted or flipped classroom, and the last one is role play. I think that the most enjoyable one, the most interesting one for was not only for students but also for teachers. This kind of activity is more essential. And the next one is, in multi-level teaching, every student, every teacher must make lessons relevant with two types of things, like, as you can see, engagement we have and encouragement we have. And engagement connects the lesson to students' prior knowledge and interests, and we're about encouragement. And encouragement allows students to share their ideas and use their imagination to create stories, games, or quizzes. In order to create stories, you can give lots of unmatched vocabulary and any kind of. In order to play games, you can use gamification method, or in order to do some kind of quiz, you can do like puzzles or the riddles and etc. And we have got lots of questions to ask from students, from teachers, in order to make our lesson very interesting. And I think questions are a key teaching tool while we are teaching as students. And we have got three main types of questions that are likely: why, where, and how. The first one, why. Why questions that address different cognitive levels and acknowledge and knowledge domains. And the where questions can invite meaningful responses from students at their entry point. and how questions that encourage students to provide longer responses. And we have got lots of benefits of multi-level teaching in English classrooms. I can say that 3 of them, like social development, continuous progress, and problem solving. I think that 3 of them are very essential and crucial in order to improve the students' comprehension. The first one, the first benefit is social development, helps students to develop their two types of skills. Like the first one is social skill, and the next one is self-esteem skills. I think that social skills can be related to students' socializing, and some kind of self-esteeming is helpful for students esteeming and themselves. And we have got the next type of benefit is continuous progress. What is continuous progress itself? I'm going to give a little information, and this kind of progress provides chances for students to build on the skills and base. And we have got the third one is problem solving, as you know. And in problem solving, students find solution to 2 types of like problems and issues. You know, we have talked about like case studies before, and I think that case studies can be like problems, can be like issue in the classroom as well. Benefits of multi-level teaching. I think that we must look through some kind of more complicated benefits of multi-level teaching, and they can be explained as increased engagement and improved academic performance and enhanced social skills. The first one is increased engagement is, I think, the most crucial one, and I can give that in this kind of engagement, when students feel their needs are met, they are more likely to be engaged. While you're teaching your students in a kind of classes, and if you have got any kind of elementary students or beginner student, and in this kind of lessons, more and more students can be engaged when you are facing up like increased engagement benefits. And the next type, improved academic performance. And in this kind of performance, students can be explained as they can be act like active student or act like a passive student. And research shows that personalized learning can lead to better outcomes as well. And third one is enhanced social skills. And this kind of enhanced social skills, collaborating with peers, fosters important social skills and teamwork. And I'm going to give you some beneficial strategies to encourage students. For example, I think that multimedia sources and feedbacks and controls, it can be like classroom management as well, and environment. And first of all, in keeping students engaged and giving their brains a break, we must use lots of multimedia sources. Like you must use TV, overhead projector, laptops, and a kind of multimedia sources that can help your lesson make really enjoyable. And we have got like feedback. As you know that we have got 2 types of feedback, as they can be explained as summative and formative. In formative feedback, you can give your students during the lesson. You can give feedbacks to your students during the lesson and while they're having an English classrooms. And summative assessment can be in the final, can be explained as in the final assessments and any kind of end of our lesson. And feedbacks give students timely and regular feedback on their progress. And controlling, and in other words, we can call this kind of word as classroom management. allows students control over their learning to help them develop confidence. In order to develop confidence of the students, teachers must help them with controlling, with some kind of directions, with kind of instructions. And the last one is environment. I think that every teacher should create a friendly environment while teaching a classroom, especially in the flipped classrooms. And environment ensures this classrooms is welcoming to students from all culture. And we have got so many types of quotes as you see, and I think that Phil Collins declares that in learning you will teach, and in teaching you will learn. According to Phil Collins, as you can see, while learning a language, teachers should teach the students, and in teaching, students can learn a lot than learning a language. And according to Bob Talbert, and he declares that teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is best. He means that while teaching kids and counting 1, 2, or 3 is really fine, but in other words, teaching them with kind of one, and where is the one first hand, where is your first finger, where is your second finger, and a kind of activities can be really explained as best. And according to Anatole France, 9/10 of education is encouragement, and he really means that. And while teaching students in English classrooms, and teachers should give to their students encouragement. And according to Bertrand Russell, and more important than the curriculum is the question of the methods of teaching and the spirit in which teaching is given. And I think that most of the teacher can be facing up lots of problems, lots of challenges while teaching some kind of varied classrooms. I mean the varied levels of students. And in this kind of students, teachers can be challenged by some kind of problems. I'm going to give you some challenges of multi-level teaching in English classrooms. The first one is time investment. And time investment is such kind of thing that planning for differentiation requires significant preparation time. And the next one is classroom management. Managing diverse groups, and it means that you have got lots of elementary students, you have got upper intermediate students or intermediate students, and this kind of groups necessitates clear expectations and routines. And the third one is need for resources. And I think that every teacher needs some kind of alternative resources while teaching some kind of diverse groups. And ensuring access to varied education resources and materials can be challenging as well, because we have got lots of online resources to use and to teach, and we have got lots of materials to apply to the students. And the last one, the solution to such kind of problems is collaborating with colleagues for resource sharing and strategies. I think that every teacher is working in such kind of college, maybe at school, at university. She or he will have such kind of colleagues, and I think that teachers should ask some kind of source and some kind of materials and some kind of resources, and in order to be shared and in order to be given by themselves. And we have got lots of challenges as well, and as I mentioned above, and challenges of multi-level classrooms can be explained as: the first one is finding appropriate teaching resources and material, as I explained above. And we have got like this kind of challenge. I think this is the most crucial one, because while finding appropriate teaching resources, teachers can look through lots of online applications, online websites, in order to find appropriate resources and materials to their diverse students. And we have got organizing appropriate grouping within the class challenge as well. And in this kind of challenge, while a teacher is organizing like appropriate groupings within the class, and he or she will be facing up lots of challenges. And in this kind of organizational action, teachers must help students and with work, like in working groups, maybe in working pairs as well. And building an effective self-assess center in the classroom. And I mean that self-assess or self-access, and we have got like language assessments or some kind of self-esteem types of learning a language. And a self-access center in the classroom is also a challenge of multi-level teaching in the classrooms, and determining the individual needs of each student. Every teacher should impact on their students while they are teaching an English lesson, but I think that every student has individual needs while they're learning a language too. And in this action, teachers must determine which kind of individual needs, which kind of individual help does the student need, and does a student must be given, and ensuring that all the students are challenged and interested. And teachers be ensured that all your students are challenged and interested as well. Even though we have got lots of bored students in our classroom, and in this kind of situation, teachers should act like ensuring that all the students and included to your lesson. And multi-level teaching is a teaching method that involves teaching a lesson to a group of students with different levels of ability, while also addressing each student's individual needs. And we have got like lots of quotes as well, as I mentioned it. And I'm going to give you a question: how do teachers plan for multi-level classes? And have you got any answers? If you have some kind of very essential answer to that question, you can write here in the comments, and I will share my own opinions as well. And set up stations, activities that become routine so that learners know what to do at each one. And vary the range of difficulty of the stations and assign more difficult stations to the higher group. And the literacy workstations are a great resource for beginning literacy and beginning level classrooms. According to the effectiveness and usage of multi-level teaching in the classroom, here you can see the percentage of usage and effectiveness in using multi-level teaching. And according to the table, we have got 25% of students who works in flexible grouping, and 40% students are differentiated instructions, and we have got 15% of theory assignments, and the last one is 10% of learning stations. And differentiated instruction, as you can see, we have got 40% of this kind of instruction, and according to this, there is given a description like tailoring instruction to meet individual student needs based on readiness, interest, and learning styles. You see, I think 3 of them are the most needed for the students. And effectiveness. What about effectiveness of this differentiated instruction? Effectiveness can be explained as research shows that differentiated instruction can lead to an increase in student engagement and achievement. I think that in our previous video lesson we have talked about like what kind of goals, what kind of SMART goals do the students follow in their teaching and in their learning a language. And here it is also claimed again. And example, what about example of differentiated instruction? Offering varied reading materials based on students' reading levels while focusing on a central theme. I think that not only in reading, but also we have got writing, listening, speaking levels, and this can be varied by like lots of materials based on a like focusing on a central theme. And flexible grouping. Now I'm going to give like a little information about flexible grouping as well. And what about description of such kind of grouping? What kind of grouping is it? What kind of like students can take part in such kind of grouping sessions? And students are grouped and regrouped based on the activity, allowing for collaboration and social interactions. Students must be interacted sociably. And effectiveness of flexible grouping, and according to the studies, indicate that flexible grouping fosters peer learning and helps students develop social skills. I think that in our lessons we must give like pair work activity in order to help students to develop their social skills. And what about example of flexible grouping? In a project, students may work in pairs for research, then switch to small groups for presentation. First of all, teachers should make the students into like, they should divide students into like pairs, and they must give a research, or they must give a topic in order to discuss. And at that time, students might divide the students into group as well in order to switch, like in order to show their presentation to their classmates. And theory assignments that are designed to accommodate different levels of understanding and complexity for the same learning objective. And what about effectiveness of theory assignments? And theory assignments can improve mastery of content for all learners by providing appropriate challenges. And example of this kind of assignments, I mean the theory assignments, can be explained as in a science lesson on ecosystems, basic students might create a posture, while advanced students develop a presentation on ecological interdependencies. And learning stations allow students to work at their own pace and choose activities that match their skill level. For example, if you have got a student like he or she is like in elementary level, he or she must choose such kind of activities that really matches their skill level. And I think that teachers shouldn't give like intermediate level skill and intermediate level activities or examples in order to solve to the students. And what about effectiveness of learning stations? And learning stations can enhance student autonomy and engagement. And teachers must engage all the students all together at a time. And different stations might focus on problem solving, hands-on experiments, or collaborative discussions. I think that problem solving examples can be like really helpful for students, not only for students but also for teachers. Also, it is also really helpful because teachers can make all the students work together and students in groups will work together and they will focus on tackle the problem given by the teacher. And hands-on experiments, you can see like when you are ready, you can raise your hands up, anything like this. Or collaborative discussions can be like working together and sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, and then they must create their own ideas collaboratively. And differentiated roles, having higher level students answer questions on a dry erase board, while lower students answer orally. And you must ask your students, lower students, to write like to answer orally, well, like with words, I mean in verbal style. And if you have like active students, you must ask your students to answer questions on a dry erase board. I mean they must write their answers to the blackboard or to the whiteboard. And pairing students with different abilities and have higher level students ask questions and lower level students answer. First of all, you must like divide your students into like active group or passive group, and then you must ask your active group to give some questions related to your today's theme, today's topic, and passive students should answer to that question given by the active students. I think in this kind of activity will be really like interesting and fascinating as well. And creating adapted worksheets with fewer exercise. And I think that this stage was also really essential because teachers should create like a worksheet beforehand, and they must give to your students while they're having a lesson like with a fewer exercise in it. And what is authentic learning? I think that authentic learning is also really like a helpful part of teaching multi-level grades, and creating authentic tasks that connect the student learn in school to their lives. It means that school to life, as you know. For example, have students read each other's work to understand why spelling is important. And you can see like an example of like activity in this kind of sentence, because you will also divide your group into two. Like the first group will like read each will write like their own like stories, and then they will read to their like classmates in order to like correct the spelling words, maybe spelling like incorrect words. And we have got older students can act as a role models for younger students. If you have like age differentiated students, you can divide them into two groups. Like the first group, I mean the older students should act as a role models. And for example, as you can see here in our room, we have got like some kind of student who is like at the age of 30 or at the age of 33, you can say. And I think that you can take this kind of person as a role model because he works as a teacher, or he has been like a doctor for ages and anything, and etc., and anything like this. And role assessment, I think that you have known about like what is assessment itself. I think that assessment plays a crucial role in multi-level teaching, and we have got like two types of assessments in our teaching English classrooms. First of all, I'm going to give you names of this kind of assessment, then I will give you some brief information about this assessment, okay? First of all, this formative assessment. What are the formative assessments themselves? And we have got like summative assessment, as you see, and summative assessment. What kind of summative assessments are called? And what kind of assessments are called summative assessments? Sorry. And tools like exit tickets,
quick quizzes and observations, checklists help coach students understanding in real time, as you see. And this could, the summative assessments could include like projects, presentation, or standardized tests that showcase student learning. I think that project-based learning we have learned, and where you know what is presentation itself, you give a topic to your student, and he or she will make makes a presentation beforehand about the topic, and then they will present in our following lesson or standardized tests
like IELTS examination or CFR examinations that showcase student learning. And as you can see here in the map, we have got educational rank taken by the USN in 2021. According to this kind of map, we have got the 3 countries included: the USA, the UK, and Germany. In Germany, it took the first rank. The teaching multi-level to students in English classrooms, and the next one is in a green color. You can see the UK country. It took the 2nd rank in our map, and the 3rd one, in the yellow one, Germany, it took the 3rd rank in our educational teaching of multi-level classes. And we have got step-by-step experiment. I'm going to give you the 4 types of steps teachers should follow. The first one is in your idea step, and in this kind of step, students should have to think quickly. And the next one is material step. Authentic materials should be provided by the teachers. And the 3rd step is called cut. Students should decide which material are useful, which kind of materials can make their learning a language really helpful. And 3rd, the last step is create. Teachers should create friendly atmosphere. I think that is the one really helpful and as well. And we have got classroom environment while teaching a multi-level classrooms. And a multi-level classroom is a student-centered environment. You see, as I think that you know what is student-centered environment. In this kind of environment, students should act actively in their lessons. And in this kind of student-centered environment, where the students of different grades learn together and are taught by the same teacher, only one teacher should give a lesson to their different grades of students. And a multi-level classroom environment can include the first, differentiated instruction, and collaborative learning, and integrated curriculum, a variety of resources, and classroom environment checklist. And I will give you some true or false sentence about classroom environment. First of all, teachers use a variety of methods to provide individualized attention. And I think that sentence is really true. And the next one is teachers encourage students to work together and interact with each other. That sentence is also true. The next one is students can integrate topics from different subjects. I think that's not true. That can be false, because not students. Teachers can integrate topics from different subjects. And the next sentence is teachers should have a cordial relationship with students. I think this sentence is also true. And now I'm going to give you really interesting activities, and as an example, while you are teaching in multi-level classes, and while you are teaching in multi-level, while you are using multi-level teaching. Sorry for pronouncing the words incorrectly. And students, and the first game I'm going to show you is Jeopardy. And do you know what is Jeopardy mean? Jeopardy. Sorry. And Jeopardy. In Jeopardy, students can review lesson content and learn teamwork by earning points. And you can write questions or equations on index cards and list points on the other side based on difficulty. For example, as you can see here in the example, we have got like easy questions, we have got like the next one is hard question, the last one other questions. And according to the like type of questions, the students can gain like points. For example, if you choose like easy questions and 100, and they can be given like easy question to answer. I think that is like the most like interesting one. And we have got the next one, the next interesting example, call it scavenger hunt. In this kind of game, it is called icebreaker game. First of all, in this kind of game, and students can be encouraged to be collaborative by planning a strategy, and they must like work together, and they must plan they must plan a strategy, and they must divide like up tasks, and they must like communicate progress. And as you can see here in the example, I gave you like an example, call it like garden scavenger hunt. For example, in the first sentence you can see find 3 types of like leaves, any kind of words you can see. If you want to like solve this kind of scavenger hunt, and you can write your answer to here in the comments. And third example of activities while we are teaching in multi-level grades is art activities. Students can use paint, scissors, other craft supplies to express their emotions in a positive way. You can start by picking a piece of music, poem or story for students to react to. I think students really love this kind of game while they are learning a language. Examples of multi-level activities. Now I'm going to like extra examples of multi-level classes as well. The first one is called like literature circles. You can use this kind of circles while you are teaching literature. I mean the English literature or Russian literature, any kind of themes maybe. Each group reads a different level of text and takes on specific rules. For example, you must give your students like, and you must be summarizer, and you can be like questioner, any kind of roles while they are taking part in such kind of activity. And the next one is math centers, and we're running tasks from simple problem sets to real world application for different skill levels. And last example, call it as a visual example. And in this kind of example, teachers should include images or descriptions of students engaged in these activities in order to make the students be engaged in these activities as well. And now I'm going to like really helpful and really useful alternative resources to find more and more information about like multi-level teaching. First of all, you can use lots of books, articles, resources that use it to gain information on multi-level teaching. For example, the first include references to notable texts or articles on multi-level teaching. For example, the first one is Tomlinson, CA, and I think his book published in 2001, and his book was called like How to Differentiate Instruction in Mixed Ability Classrooms. The next one is Weinbrenner S, and Teaching Gifted Kids in the Regular Classrooms. This book is called like this, and this book is published in 2001. And I think that it's time to give like conclusion to our today's topic. Multi-level teaching is crucial for meeting students' diverse needs in a singular classroom setting. And encourage educators to implement these strategies for better student outcomes. I think that's all for today. Thanks for your attention. Do not forget to follow us on social media. Goodbye.